Hey girl, welcome back to Baddies Who Build. Today we are talking about the price of comparison. I'm gonna start this off by saying something that is totally gonna sound off the wall, but I'm a tech founder building an app, but I have never designed an app, I've never worked with a developer, and I've never touched a wireframe before this year. And yet I'm doing it. We have a prototype, we have functionality mapped out, I am working with a developer, and we have a real launch timeline for 2026. And it's not because I magically knew how, but it's because I was obedient to what I felt I was called to step into. And what I'm learning is this: obedience to the Lord looks like becoming the woman you already are and not letting society make you feel like you need to keep proving that you are her. That cycle ends here. You literally already are her. We just need to activate her. For years, I literally could not see who I was becoming because I was too busy trying to prove myself to other people. And the way I was proving myself was by comparing myself to them, trying to show that I could measure up, that I was worthy of being in the same room. But I didn't need to be like them. I needed to be like me. Comparison did not humble me. It actually suffocated me. It was genuinely killing the woman I already was and was blurring the vision of who I was becoming. And if this hits for you, it's because you're tired of shrinking yourself just to feel acceptable, which is actually a really good sign because that's the start of a millionaire mindset. So let's talk about it. Step 1. Comparison reveals where you don't trust your assignment. Comparison usually isn't about wanting what someone else has. It's about doubting that what you've been given is even enough. When you trust your assignment, you don't need to measure yourself against other people because you're not competing. Comparison shows up when you stop believing that your path is intentional. The moment you start thinking that you need someone else's timeline, someone else's body, someone else's money, someone else's identity, you've stepped out of alignment. You literally were not called to prove yourself. You were called to step into what you were given. Now, let me be really clear about something because this matters. There is a healthy form of comparison. Checking industry standards, seeing where you can level up, making sure your work can actually compete in the market. That is wisdom, but that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is what I call the spirit of comparison. And I know that can sound a little woo-woo, so let me ground what I'm saying. It's when comparison stops being information and starts becoming influence. It's when you don't just evaluate your work, you start eroding your self-worth. You hesitate to create without validation, you question who you are, and suddenly being enough feels intangible. That is not strategy, it's literally identity erosion, and that's the type of comparison that I'm talking about. And the moment that you identify that that is what you're operating out of, it loses all of its power. So now that we see comparison clearly, what mindset has to change? Which brings us to step 2, stop outsourcing your self-trust. The spirit of comparison keeps you stuck because it trains you to look outside of yourself for confirmation. You start needing validation before you move, approval before you create, permission to trust your own vision and ideas. Again, that is not wisdom, that is dependency, and it's killing your self-esteem. You literally don't need more opinions, you don't need more reassurance. You need to learn to start trusting your own discernment again. Self-trust is a skill, and comparison weakens it every time you go against your own knowing. So what do we actually do differently starting now? You commit to your lane and you move like you really believe in it. You don't break comparison by thinking differently, you break it by moving differently. So here's a few ways to start rebuilding your self-trust and your self-confidence immediately. For self-confidence, you need to have an idea and create it without asking if it's good. Post it without asking if it should be posted. Create it without asking if it should be created. Share it because it feels aligned to you, not because someone else said it was a good idea. Confidence is built when you can trust your own taste, and honestly, that is where real community comes from. Now, when it comes to self-esteem, that is built when you keep a promise to yourself. If you say you're gonna do something, do it, even if it's uncomfortable. And stop psyching yourself out. You don't have to do it for an hour. You don't have to do it perfectly. If you told yourself that you were gonna clean the whole house and you only got the laundry and dishes done, it still counts. If you told yourself that you were gonna walk 5 miles today and you only walked 2, it still counts. You have to start somewhere, and every promise you keep becomes evidence to your brain that you can trust yourself. And lastly, lane commitment. Pick one area and stay there long enough to see it become something. Your brain is looking for evidence that this is where you're supposed to be, so stop abandoning yourself every time you see someone else doing it differently. Stop second guessing yourself. There may be people called to do what you're doing, but they weren't called to do it the way that you would do it, period. And now you're gonna seal it. Clarity is going to come after you commit, not before it. So the woman that you're looking to become isn't scrolling for permission. She's not looking to make sure everybody else has the same idea as her and doing it the same way that she's doing it. She is moving with conviction, even if she doesn't know how yet. Even if she doesn't know what it's supposed to look like or when it's supposed to happen. So I just want to remind you, you don't need that other girl's life. You don't need that other girl's strategy. You don't need that other girl's hair, skin, makeup, life, money, or her timeline. You just need to be obedient to yours. And that's actually why I'm building Portfolio. It's a system I'm building to help creators get out of their head, stop overthinking, and actually execute on what they're called to build. So if that resonates, we have a waitlist open. You can find it in the description. We'll be launching in 2026, and I hope to see you there so that we can become the woman we already are. Okay, love you, bye!